Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another video. Here I've got a set of irons. I was on eBay the other day and I picked up an 8/9 pitching wedge of raw Titleist blades. And this is an old set of Titleist 735 CM cavity back irons, or it's like kind of a combo set. But I want these to match the raw 8/9 and wedge. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to strip these down raw. Going to try to walk through the process. With an iron head like this, you've got some forged steel as the base of the iron head, and then it's plated with a layer of nickel and then a layer of chrome. So this outer layer here that's all shiny is buffed chrome plating. So that needs to come off, the nickel layer needs to come off, and then you get down to the bare steel. So that's the process we're going to explore. Step one is we're going to take these iron heads and take them off the shafts so that we can work them individually. So I'm going to use this MAP torch and heat these iron heads up and pull the shafts off so we can work with it a little bit better. Here we go. Alright, so the next step after you have gotten the heads removed, I like to use a little bit of paint stripper or acetone to clear away some of the paint fill. You can see this one has been removed, this one has not. You can still see the black Titleist. So I just apply some paint stripper acetone. I'll probably take a bit on the numbers out as well. It just helps during the stripping process to make sure you're getting whatever is underneath the paint. I've just got some paint stripper right here that I use and put that on there for about 10 or 15 minutes and then scrub it off and wash it off with some water. So then once you get it all paint stripped, I like to give it a nice wipe down with some acetone or some degreaser just to make sure that it's totally clean and good to go. And then we need to start stripping. Now this first step, I guess the next step, is to strip off the chrome, and this is a part that I don't really think is very appropriate for DIY, because when you strip off chrome, from what I can tell, most people will use some kind of acid. You basically put the club in a bath of acid, or maybe you can use some kind of combination with some kind of electrolysis, where you are hooking up the piece with like a electrical current on one end, on the positive, and then the negative will be attached to some kind of sacrificial metal piece. I guess I've done electrolysis with derusting, but I didn't do that here. What I chose to do is to contact a local chrome plating manufacturer. So in my area, there are a couple, and they mostly do like agricultural stuff. So like if you've got like some kind of farm equipment, you can send it to them to be plated, chrome plated. And the reason is that removing chrome plating is a very toxic endeavor. I believe it produces something called hexavalent chromium, something like that. And that is very toxic, and it also requires some very special ways to dispose of it. And you know, if you've ever seen the movie Aaron Brockovich, I believe that's what we're talking about there. So I'm not really equipped to do that. So basically, I would recommend that you look in your area for someone that does chrome plating. Give them a call. Tell them you've got some very small batch pieces, and you'd like them to see if they can strip the chrome. And what I was explained is he said he'd be happy to do it. He actually didn't charge me very much. They've got some kind of acid bath. He set it in. And I explained to him that the layers of chrome are very, very thin, and it doesn't take much for them to get stripped off. So these two have, just kind of as a test, I sent the 3 and 4 iron in because I care least about them. These two have sat in the acid bath for maybe like an hour or two. It was not a very long time, And then these 3 have not been done yet. And I don't know how well it will show up on film, but for my eyes, and again, this is all an experiment. I don't know if I'm successful yet or not, but these 2 appear to have a little bit of a goldish hue, whereas these definitely have more of a silver shine. And after I washed them, you can see like with this one, it actually does have a little bit of rusting going on already right here. And this one also has a little bit of spotting going on right here, as well as just a tiny little bit on the face in the depths of the grooves, which I'm guessing is where maybe a little bit of wearing has already taken place. So I believe that the chrome plating has been stripped off those heads, and I sent it to my chrome plating shop so I don't have to deal with the hazardous waste. So I'm going to send the rest of these to him and get those taken care of. Next step in the process after I received the heads back from the chrome stripping facility is to strip the nickel plating. Now the way I'm going to do this is using a nickel plating stripper from Haswell. It comes in a bag like this, and this is the solution that I've got that I'm going to attempt to make work for me. I basically have like a griddle skillet, and I've got a pot filled with some water. Now the water needs to be heated to a temperature between 120 and 150 degrees. Now there are a couple other recommended parts of the setup that might be a little bit challenging for me. The water is supposed to be agitated. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do that. I also want the parts to be suspended in the water, and I'm also not exactly sure how I'm going to do that either. But basically, I'm going to be taking some of this powder and pouring it into this water. You mix it up, drop the clubs in, let the heat run, let it go for a while. So, water's not quite heated up yet. So we're going to let this heat up. We're going to mix some of this solution in there. We're going to put a club head in. We're going to give it a test run and see how it works out. And let's go from there. Alright, this is my progress. These heads have been sitting in the bath for about 3 or 4 hours. Now, again, to be clear, you need to have some water in a pan or a pot. It needs to be about, I think, 120 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, I was using a griddle under a stainless steel pot to heat it up. And you want to try to agitate the water, you want to try to suspend the parts. I really was not able to do that. So I just let them sit as is. So this is what I came up with. Now, when I pull them out, they are covered in this black, I think they call it smut. And I tried wiping it down, didn't really work so good. So what I ended up trying to do is pour some acid. I've got some HCl for like a pool. And I put that in a bucket, and I put these in there just for like a very short amount of time. and that seemed to kind of loosen the smut, so I could basically just wipe it right off. I gave it a thorough rinse, and then I gave it a wipe off. So yeah, I don't know if this is bare steel or not. It certainly looks different than where we started. You know, with plating, I think that would definitely make it shinier, and there are bits like right here. There appears to be some of it that did not get removed. Maybe in here, there's a little bit of, so there's not a uniform look. And I would still say I maybe see just a tiny little bit of sheen. Maybe does not appear as dull as what I thought it might. But it definitely has changed the appearance, and we will see. I think what I might end up doing is, I think there's a way you can like really accelerate the rusting process, maybe with like salt water. Like spray some salt water in it, maybe we'll try that. The other thing I noticed is, this is my 6-iron head, is some of these grooves appear to have been kind of eaten away. Like these bottom 3 grooves appear to be pretty wide. Now, I'm not sure if that's just because I left it in the nickel bath for too long, or maybe the way that was applied, I guess. It's hard to say, but I guess we do have a little bit of a casualty there, and we'll see how the 6-iron plays as a result. Alright guys, I made a little more progress. Managed to get all the heads through the nickel stripper, and pretty pleased with the results. I did also, so this is the 3-iron, and I left it overnight in I got a bowl of water, and I mixed water with salt, and I dipped a paper towel in that, and then I wrapped the head. So this is what it came out, and then I wrapped this head in that paper towel. So you can see there's definitely some rusting going on, especially in this cavity here. But I wouldn't say the rusting is real even. You know, for example, you've got like this toe area or this heel area that are pretty much unaffected. And this face as well has a darker kind of splotchy tone. So I'm wondering if maybe I got things a little bit uneven, which I believe might be related to I didn't maybe do the best job of keeping the water agitated in the bath. But yeah, they certainly look really cool. Kind of have this patina, dusky look. One thing though to make mention of is some of the grooves got a little bit messed up. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but kind of in this corner piece right here, just the grooves got eaten away a little bit. Not on all of them, and not even, this is the 6. It's really, on the 6, it's just this very bottom groove is a little bit wider. It's not super drastic. And then this is the 7. It's just got a couple little spots. Now I wondered if this is because I left it in the nickel stripper for too long without maybe washing away all of the smut before I proceed, but I guess that's just kind of a casualty. I'll do a little better next time. But I'm pretty happy with my progress so far. One thing I also did note is when I would take them out of the bath, they would be just jet black, covered in smut. And if I took a paper towel, it would, you can kind of see a little bit of that here. If I would take a paper towel to it, it would kind of come off, but I found if I dipped it in a little bit of, I've got a little HCl, hydrochloric acid, that you use like in a pool. I've got some of that sitting around that I have used, and I just kind of rinsed it on it, and then that would basically make the smut a lot easier to wipe. It would just wipe directly off. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this progress. I think we're going to probably might do one more pass in the nickel stripper, but I may also just call it good and shaft them up. So yeah, that's my progress on rusting these iron heads. See you again soon. Thanks. Bye.